After the last video, I regenerated Nouns 1.1 to Discourse 1.7, and there were some issues, some differences. So a man named Saul was the king of Israel. King Saul had led Israel's army to a valley that was in Judah. He and his army, okay, I think that's an improvement. So let's go ahead and save it. Goliath was a very big man. He was 9.7 feet tall. That's an improvement, so let's save it. Goliath was a soldier for Philistia's army. Each day he came to Israel's army. That's good. Let's save it. Okay, now this is a real issue. John and carefully walked quickly. So let's go look at this verse. Okay, in a previous video we changed quickly. We made it clause final. We used to have it, I think it was post-verbal, but we changed it to clause final. And we have a rule for this in our adverbs. Yeah. It used to be preverbal. So this rule was saying when we had a preverbal adverb combined with a post-verbal adverb, make them both post-verbal. But now we've changed this. So now this is clause final, and this is preverbal. So let's update this rule. Okay, we've made changes, we know. Okay, so now let's say this is clause final. If we have a clause final adverb, right there, paired with a preverbal adverb, okay, post or preverbal, this rule will do both. Let's make both of these adverbs clause final. So they'll both be clause final. Okay, so that worked again. We can remove this, and we're ready to work on Discourse 1.8. Okay, there are no known issues. Okay, that sentence is fine. Okay, the adjective 5. Okay, we won't need this, at least not yet. Okay, smooth. We won't need this one either. Okay, I think these conjunctions will be resolved when we go to the full verse, so we'll ignore that for now. Okay, put. Okay, the verb to put, okay, it takes a destination noun phrase, and you can see there into treasury or in temple. For the destination noun phrase of put, when we build our source text for the Bible, we include a preposition. A few videos ago, I talked about the verb to live and how we include a preposition in the destination noun phrase for to live. Because we can say John lived near the lake, John lived under a bridge, John lived on a mountain. So we need to provide that preposition. And the same is true here for put. So in our destination noun phrase, we don't need to supply a preposition. It will be provided for us. The beneficiary, Haman put coins into the treasury for the people, and an instrument noun phrase. The Israelites put blood above the doors with branches. So we'll make our destination noun phrase an oblique 1, but we won't provide a preposition. Okay, that sentence is fine. No known issues. Okay, the conjunctions I think will be resolved later. Okay, no known issues. Okay, the verb to see. To observe something, to see evidence that something has occurred. John saw that Peter was sick. The king saw that Daniel was not healthy. Okay, so we need to provide the complementizer, that. We don't need to do anything else to this preposition, to this proposition, this object complement clause. Okay. Okay, to curse. Only an agent and a patient. Okay. That's the last sentence. Let's go to the full verse. Okay, we have some issues, some pronoun issues. Goliath saw David walking toward him. He saw. Okay, the MTT put Goliath saw. Because, okay, Goliath saw David walking toward him. He saw. Who is he? It's ambiguous. Is it Goliath or is it David? So it is better to say Goliath. Okay, so this was converted to a pronoun by our identification rule that deals with two clauses, this one here. So, okay, so when we have two consecutive sentences and they have the same subject noun, we've been converting this second subject noun to a pronoun. But if there's an intervening noun with the same gender, if this were a woman here, Goliath saw Mary walking toward him, we could still say he saw. But if there's an intervening noun with the same gender, then this one shouldn't be converted to a pronoun. So let's make that change. Okay, so to prevent this, when there's another intervening noun, let's prevent this structure from applying. Let's do this by adding another structure. And we'll put in another noun phrase with another noun. And we'll say, let's set its index to J, so it's different from the subject. But it has to have the same gender. Let's say all of these are masculine. Okay, so when we have this situation, we won't convert this one to a pronoun. So this structure, it won't change anything. All it will do is prevent this structure from applying. We say this structure bleeds this structure. In phonology, they talk about rules bleeding each other. So this will bleed the first structure. So let's insert a comment here. Okay, these are sentences 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5 and 6. Okay. Let's make a comment up front. Okay. When two consecutive sentences have the same subject noun, if there's an intervening noun with the same gender, don't let the first structure convert the second subject noun to a pronoun. So this structure bleeds the preceding structure. Okay, let's give that a try. Okay, that solved this problem, but what about this one? Goliath saw that David was a boy. So he started cursing. Okay, so again we have, and this is Goliath, but again there's an intervening noun of the same gender. But this time, this noun, okay, this is in an embedded object complement clause. We need to go back to this rule, and let's say ignore clausal embedding. So now this noun might be in the same clause as this subject noun, or it might be embedded in another clause. Ignore clausal embedding. Okay, looks good. Let's save it. Now this rule that deals with 2 consecutive sentences, that will affect other pronouns in our story. In the grammar introduction sentences where we work on isolated sentences, this rule has no effect. But let's go regenerate just Discourse 1.7 to 1.8. Let's say problem texts. Okay, let's delete all of these. And let's say just okay, let's regenerate these to see if when we edited that rule, did that change anything else? Okay, so some verses changed. Okay, let's start here. One day David wanted to take some food to his brothers, so David went. Okay, here, brothers, if it were wanted to take some food to his brother, then it would be ambiguous. If this were a pronoun, would it be David or the brother? But since this is plural, it's okay to change this to a pronoun, he. That won't be ambiguous. So he ran to his brothers quickly. Okay, same issue. So since the intervening noun is plural, it's okay to change this to a pronoun. Let's look at these others later. Let's go back and say that intervening noun has to be both the same gender, masculine, and the same number, singular. Okay, so let's say these also have to be, for this video we'll just say singular. In the future we'll probably find that we need to do another similar structure that deals with plural nouns. But for this video we'll say just singular. So now, if the intervening noun is plural, this structure won't prevent the preceding structure from applying, and we will get our pronoun. So let's go back. Okay, let's generate this one again. Okay, generated text is identical to the saved text. David wanted to take some food to his brothers, so he. So we're back. So let's remove this one. Let's regenerate this one as well. Okay, regenerated text is identical to the saved text. We have our pronoun again. So let's remove this one. Okay, if a man kills Goliath, the king will give a lot of money to him. I think this is actually better. We don't want a pronoun here because it's ambiguous. Would the pronoun refer to the king or to him, the man? So let's save this one. Okay, here. Goliath was a very big man. Goliath. Okay, here it would be nice to have a pronoun. But this intervening noun, it's a masculine and it's singular. So here, I mentioned earlier in a previous video, we will not get TBTA to generate all the pronouns that we want. We want to err on the side of generating too few pronouns, not too many. Because if we generate too many, then the MTTs might not interpret them properly. So here we would like a pronoun, but we can't fix this, so I'm going to save it. And here again, Goliath was a soldier for Philistia's army. You'd say Goliath. Okay, soldier is an intervening noun. It's masculine and it's singular. We would like a pronoun here, but again, we can't. So let's accept this. This is a perfectly fine translation. If the MTTs want to change this to a pronoun, they can. So let's save it. And now we're ready for Discourse 1.9.